Mao Zedong, head of the Chinese Communist Party, established the People's Republic of China in 1949 in the name of well-being and prosperity for the masses. Before the CCP could consolidate its power, however, Mao needed to accumulate a large enough following to overthrow the nationalists. Mao initially advocated for communism as a protector of the myriad of ethnic, national, and religious minorities that existed in China. As a result, the CCP gained the support of many Buddhist, Tibetan, Uyghur, Uyghur Muslim, Mongol, and Jewish people, among the over 50 nationally recognized minority groups. Support from these groups was essential to the victory of the CCP over the nationalists, since many resided in the outer regions of the country and could help deflect foreign influence on the Civil War. Propaganda, especially vibrant posters, depicted Mao embracing the cultural diversity of China. Nevertheless, prejudice effectively tainted the Han Chinese, the ethnic group that made up 90% of the population in China. There was a sense of supremacy among the Han, who viewed minority groups as lowly and childish, with their colorful garments, folk music, and traditional lifestyle. Throughout the reign of the Communist Party and during the Cultural Revolution, the reality of the treatment of minorities under Mao Zedong became clear. Mao became threatened by the power of diversity and culture in communist China and strove to eliminate minority groups for reasons the party defended as national pride and separatist eradication. The two groups most affected by Mao's intolerant domestic policies were the Tibetans and the Mongols. China established occupation of Tibet 2 days after the Dalai Lama fled to India in 1959 and established democratic reforms that repressed the resistant natives. Largely practicing Buddhists, Tibetans represented an old and backwards China. Mao intended to eliminate these threatening influences by destroying sacred infrastructure, burning religious statues and literature, and performing innumerable public struggle sessions, torture, and executions. Thousands of temples were burned to the ground. Monks and nuns were slaughtered. The CCP and the Red Guard intended to publicize with frequency these terror tactics for all men, women, and children to witness, as a form of social control and a constant reminder of the party's power. Furthermore, Mao imposed collectivization with a vengeance in Tibet, which suffered greatly during the Great Leap Forward famine in 1959. The Tibetan persecution death toll is estimated as high as 1.2 million people from 1949 to 1975. Meanwhile, in Mongolia, the CCP took almost 800,000 lives. The Mongolian People's Party, backed extensively by the Soviet Union, caused the Mongols to be a large target due to Mao's distaste of foreign influence in his policy and ideology in China. Religious works and mosques were destroyed. Schools offering education in Arabic or any language other than the standard Mandarin Chinese were also destroyed. On an occasion known as the Shadian Incident in 1975, the People's Liberation Army massacred 1,600 Uyghur Muslims. Many members of minority groups charged as separatists or counter-revolutionaries were often sent to work at laogais. Laogai means reform through labor and referred to the prison camps imposed by the CCP. Minorities were forced into back-breaking labor in the most hostile wastelands and down the most contaminating mines, while being harassed incessantly by authorities. In regards to his treatment of minorities, did Mao adhere to his own ideology? Mao was inconsistent. He utilized minority groups to gain political and social advantage during the Civil War, and exploited them for economic and ideological purposes in the years to come. Mao did not succeed in eliminating diverse Chinese cultures. The failure of the CCP's radical assimilationist policies was due to their unreasonable goals and violent implementation. In fact, minority groups may have consequentially identified more passionately with their distinct cultures during this period of prosecution. China remains to this day a culturally diverse nation.